Hello, welcome to Reading Sprints. I don't know what day it is. I just had to think, is it Thursday Reading Sprints? No, it's Friday.
No.
I don't know what day I thought it is, but because it's half term, I emailed my editor yesterday, like, "Oh, you're working tomorrow?" She never works on a Friday, and the reason I asked her if she was working tomorrow is I thought it was Tuesday. So I'm sure she's going to get back next week and be like, "What an idiot!" It's because
Now,
we
hang on.
changed,
Are
we
you
changed
back in
Nathan.
time or forward in time?
We changed Nathan's swimming lesson from Tuesday to Thursday. So I emailed her at
Ah,
swimming thinking it was Tuesday because it's half
okay.
term and I've lost all I've lost all concept of time. So I'm feeling a bit giddy now. For those of you who are wondering what's wrong with Amy, I've just had a lovely conversation with Alex where we've just done a bit of mutual appreciation. So I feel like my ego is very full now because you've just replenished it, Alex. So thank you.
We've had a big virtual hug, everybody. So let's all pile on in.
Yeah, I
Oh.
know. Oh, it's
Oh.
like it's like having have you ever done like a WhatsApp call with a young child? That's what my son does. Whenever he sees somebody he loves through WhatsApp, he's like, "Hang on, let me give you a kiss."
Ah, yes, yeah. I think that's important. It's important though to show your appreciation for each other, because I think a lot of us are working very hard at the moment, and a lot of us are having a little bit of a rough time in various ways at the moment. So it's nice that we can all be together. And I was just saying, wasn't I, Amy, actually, what a lovely bunch your community are, and all of us who come together here. So thank you for having me along as the black sheep middle grade author in the midst of all the YAs.
Not at all. Remember, I want to join your ranks, so
Yes, we should.
don't
Oh gosh, we should
disperse.
talk about that as well. Yeah, we will
Yeah,
definitely.
don't besmirch the middle grade name when I want to break into that as well. I want to break into everywhere, baby. I'm gonna write adult books. I'm gonna write teenage books, and
Yes,
eventually something will be my massive break as opposed to my like middle-sized break that I've had thus far.
yes, I'm with you there. I'm with you.
But I have I told you that I'm doing some assessment marking. I won't say what assessment because I don't think like you doing that, but I'm doing some assessment marking right
Are
now. So
you?
yes, so that is the exciting activity that I'm going to be doing for the majority of the evening. I'm going to be
That's so
ticking boxes.
exciting.
So when you see my face like this, it's because I haven't written my own book for like a week and a half. I'm looking what day it is. So I'm feeling a bit grumpy, but I've nearly finished. You have to mark so many questions, and I say nearly finished. I'm halfway through, but I'm seeing that as nearly finished.
Yes, I've got you. I've got you.
And I'm in
I
London.
wonder whether you've, don't confirm or deny, but I wonder whether you've got the SATs paper that I was helping out with. Year
I
six,
cannot confirm or
year
deny, but
six SATs.
it's very possible that the
It's, ve-
timing lines
it's
up with what you
very,
are saying.
oh yeah, very, very possible. I mean, I remember scribing for a child told by her teacher that oh, she'll do really well if she can just finish it. When I tell you that I dragged this child through the finish line by her hair, I was determined. We were so focused. I think I frightened her a little bit actually, because I think she was expecting me to give her the answers or something, and I was like, no, we're gonna I cracked the whip. I was like, you are going to do this exam. And
Do you know
yeah, I was
what?
very happy with
So
it.
many kids need that. How many 11-year-olds are actually ready to sit down and do a really serious exam? Like
I
I was a
know.
complete nerd. I was like, this is my bread and butter. This is my time to shine. Level 5 reading, here I come.
Oh,
Um,
I can imagine
that
you, little
I
nerd.
was such an enormous nerd. I was talking about this to somebody the other day. I don't think it was you, it was somebody else. I was like, it's so funny how being a nerd was quite shameful. And oh, it was Beth. Beth Recalls was saying how she wrote fan fiction at school and she was on Tumblr and she was like feeling on the outskirts of friendship groups. And then she got a giant book deal at age 16. Because she wrote something on Wattpad that went viral. And I was like, the nerds do finally take over the
that
world.
nerd recognition. My
Yeah.
goodness me.
Honestly, you would have you met Beth before? You probably haven't come into the same circles, have you? The middle
No, I
grade.
don't I don't think so. I don't think so. But all the
She's
same
like
though.
us. She's like us. She understands like fandom and getting obsessed with stuff and just being really nerdy and happy about it. She's really lovely. I think we could add her, like we need an ABC, don't we? We've got Ashlyn for the A's. Maybe we can use
Yes,
down the
yes.
B's. She can be our B.
She can be our B, and we need a C as well. So if you are
Yeah.
a C and you are out there and you want to join us,
And you're a nerd who
write
likes
in.
reading and writing, yeah. I'm sure there's lots of them out there. There's
I
lots
bet
of
there are.
cycles.
There must
That's
be.
a nice thing, isn't it? We're the people at school who there may be one or two of us in our year, and online you can find you can find these one or two little kind of lovely oddballs and say, welcome, like we're one and the same. We're the same.
Join us. It's so funny. Oh, so lovely. Oh
Yeah,
well,
I
I hope
remember
that
said,
hope that it goes well, your assessments. I hope that they aren't too excruciating
do
because
you know what? I'm
I
just
thought
in
it was
awe
quite
of children.
excruciating.
I'm in awe of children and teachers who work so hard towards these exams that in the
Yep,
greater scheme of things, they're important, but it's worth remembering that they're just part of a full picture, aren't they, of you
of
as a
course
person.
they
And
are.
they're made to feel like it's who they are as a person if they don't get the top marks in their SATs.
I know exactly what you
Sometimes,
mean. Fortunately, the school that I look after, the school that looks after me, they're very very good at just emphasising that we'll just do our best with it,
yeah,
and they get great results from that. So that's brilliant. But
that's the best
you
way to
know
do it. A lot of
they
schools near me
teach
do that as well.
they teach to the exam, I think, is the saddest thing. And then after the exam is over, all of that information just goes and
Yeah,
they
because
don't
it's
need it
like,
anymore. I don't know
yeah,
what half of these things are. I don't know what a fronted
honestly.
adverbial is. This kid is
Well, I
looking at me
mean,
like,
do you ever write a book and go, do you know what this sentence absolutely needs as a preposition near the end of it, just to bring it to life? Actually, I'm going to use a better determiner than I use. Like you never do. You never ever. I
no,
do say I used to teach the higher level boosters, and I had to do things like, okay, I'm going to tell you about the subjunctive, but I'm not going to tell you about the real subjunctive. I'm going to tell you about the year six SATs version of the subjunctive. And I just kind of tell them the version that they needed to get through,
that's right.
because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very, very rarely will you use the subjunctive in real life, because people will correct you and say you're actually wrong. Like if I were rich and somebody will be like, no, you should say if I was rich, and you're like, no, actually it's the subjunctive mood, so you should say were. Like you're never gonna have this conversation with a real person, are you?
So funny. See, I remember that being a big thing, but it was from German class, not from English
Oh right.
class. So it's funny. It's funny, isn't it? How you, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Words sound good. Words sound good.
Yeah.
Alex, write words. Words sound good.
Well, that's the thing. We write words that flow nicely and feel good coming out of our brains and onto the page. Like we
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
get
yeah.
check for the
Exactly.
subjunctive, failed SATs if not there. Like there's no SATs marking when it comes to writing books. There's just writing it for the love and hoping
Yeah.
that the readers love to. But yeah, I get it. I get that we have to do it, and I get that kids have to do it. So any teachers or children watching, feel we understand you. Alex and I have been where you are. We know how it feels. Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, Stephen. Lucy Undying, yes, good one. Another Dracula retelling. This one, an adult one for those who are interested, that focuses on Lucy Westenra. I don't think I've heard of these Fleeting Shadows. Have you, Alex? But I like the title.
It's a very nice title. Doesn't ring a bell
Mm.
though. Is it new?
I don't know. I'm going to have to Google it in a minute. It sounds sufficiently nice and
Oh, let me
spooky.
open a tab.
Didn't take you long, Alex. What are we, like 5 minutes in? The first tab is
Uh,
open.
RIP my bank account.
I had a little casual chat with Shelley the other night because we decided to watch the Fear Street film together and we had loads of fun. Did it kind of virtually. And the amount of books she recommended to me in the half an hour chat beforehand while we're waiting for Kev to come down. I was thinking of you because I was like, tap, 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 tap. I'm going to buy all
Dearie
these books
me.
later.
It's a blessing and a curse, knowing so many people who have so many recs, especially when it's not like a realm that you normally read in. It means that I'm not very well read, like in the YA and adult spheres. So yeah. Like I say, my bank account does suffer, but it is good fun. This looks fantastic. This looks really, really good. This
I'm going to put it on my list as well so I can look what it is in the break. The break when I'm supposed to be working, but
spooky house.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Interesting.
speaking of spooky houses, there's a book coming out the same day as mine. Have you read Kat Ellis's other books, Harrow Lake and Wicked Little Deeds?
So I haven't, but I do know of Cat Ellis.
See, Kat is a lovely human, a wonderful, wonderful human who is just the nicest person. He writes the creepiest books. And the Devouring Light is a haunted house where a band's tour bus breaks down, and there's people on this bus who really despise each other and have been ended up together kind of by circumstance, and they're going across this swamp trying to find help. Some of them are missing, some of them are hurt, etc. And they find this house that looks a bit creepy, and they go in, and everything just goes wrong, and it's so good. And it's just got like, that feel of like bands and cool people and like tension between them, and everybody's dated and broken up and stuff, and it's got that really good feel, but also this really terrifying house that has a kind of really dark history that you unravel as you're reading it.
That
And yes,
sounds
it's very
really
good.
wicked. That sounds like the sort of thing I would really love to read, actually. That sounds great.
Yes, it's
Great
it's really good.
concept.
I read an early version of it. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Oh, that sounds lovely and sort of
Ooh,
wholesome. Is it wholesome? Love lettering sounds sweet, but I normally get these wrong from the title. Oh, amazing. Oh, spelling is such a beast as well. So well done.
oh,
I
brilliant.
I predominantly teach year five, like dipped my toes into some year six, and I can attest that spelling is really hard. So if you're absolutely perfecting that already, if you want to chat, Lily, about teaching stuff ever, please reach out, because that's my other bread and butter. Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. That's
Oh,
a really good vibe. Like, that's where I was when I was a kid. If you can get kids engaged in spelling tests, I think you've got it. You are welcome. It's
that's
Alex
warmed
and I
my
have been
cold
chatting
heart to
about
hear.
Alex and I have been talking about how being an author is quite solitary, and you need your group of author friends around you. I think teaching can kind of feel the same sometimes, because although you're in your school, if you're homeschooling, it's certainly solitary. And in your school, you're in charge of that class, aren't you? And it's nice to know you can reach out to other people who are going through the ups and downs as you are, because it's a really hard job. Full respect to anybody who still teaches full time, because I now teach 1 day a week, and it's really hard work. There's a lot of moving parts in the classroom, and
Yes,
I imagine even
indeed.
more when you're doing it at home. Like, that's a
Yeah.
lot. So well done, Lily. That's
You need a good community
amazing.
around you for homeschool, online. I think there's a lot of people who come together to share practice and stuff and support and encourage each other, which is really lovely to see.
Yeah, I've got a friend who homeschools, and I've noticed more and more after talking to her about it. My local community seems to have quite a good few opportunities, like our local nature reserve has homeschool days, and our local farm has homeschool days. So I think there are ways to kind of reach out, aren't there,
That's
and like
great.
make
The library
make
as
a
well
little
is
community.
fabulous. I
Oh
always
yes.
encounter a lot of homeschool students at the library, which is so nice. We're doing like events and things. We've been doing one for Stoke-on-Trent centenary, and I had one young lady and her mum show up. So they ended up basically having like a 1 to 2 writing session, and it was just so lovely. It was great. So it's nice to be able to meet people and help out.
Honestly,
Very
these
cool.
I've learned with book events, like, it's not about you as a personal thing. Like, I've been and done Waterstones events before and had just a couple of people turn up, and then I've got to a convention queue and been like, oh, I won't have many people, and then see my queue going, and I'm like, okay, I do have a few people. So you just don't know. It's no reflection. I did a workshop at MCM. That's another book community that is just amazing. I don't know whether they're going to go down the middle grade route, Alex, but I'd definitely keep your eye out, because I did it first, I think 2 years ago, and it's just grown and grown. And the first time I did it, there were like a few people in the workshop. And this year, I was managing my expectations before with Kev, like you do. And I was like, oh, if there's just a few people, like, you and Nathan need to sit outside because it'll be too quiet in the room and stuff. And then like 30 people walk in, and I was like, wow, this event has grown. This is amazing.
That's so lovely.
So they
Very
ended up
cool.
sitting in, so they were able to watch me, and it was really funny. I tested bits out on Nathan beforehand, because I always practice, and he goes, who are you talking to, mummy? And I'm like, I'm talking to myself. I'm doing my presentation out loud. And he was like, do it to me. So I was like, tell me, are you a plotter or a pantser? And he was like, I think I'm both. I was like, okay, what
Oh
does
my
that mean?
god.
And he was like, well, I like to plot things. I think he meant plot more like supervillain plans to take over the world, as opposed to
Yeah,
plot a
yeah,
book
yeah.
out. And
Of
he was
course.
like, and what's a pantser again? And I was like, it means fly by the seat of your pants, which means to make stuff up as you go along. And he was like, oh yeah, Yeah, I definitely do that. It's like, you're brilliant, child. Like, you're a chip off the old block.
That's
Welcome to
the
the
cutest thing I've ever
Plancity.
heard. Oh my
Yeah, it was
God.
so funny. I asked him all my questions for one of the panels when I realized he was enjoying it, and the answers he gave were so funny. I was like, which is your favorite vampire, Spike or Angel? And he was like, which is the blonde haired one on your t-shirt? And I was like, Spike. And he was like, Spike. Like, right
Correct
answer. Well,
answer. Correct
yeah,
answer.
well done.
Oh,
And I asked
bless
him
him. You
whether he
must be very
liked, I think,
proud of him.
I'm so proud. Vampires, werewolves, or witches, he got correct as well. He said vampires because he
Vampires, yep.
likes how they go.
Correct. Yeah, they
I
do
don't know
do it.
where he
They
got
do
this
go.
from. The vampires go, because Isadora Moon is probably his first proper vampire he's met, and she doesn't go.
Okay. Do I have? Yes, I do. I have my Isadora. I'm a big fan.
That is so
As
cute.
well, pencil case. I
So we're
know.
reading at the minute,
My
when
little
it's my
glasses in.
bedtime night, we read about half an Isadora Moon book just because I can't stop reading it. They're addictive. I don't know what Harry Muncaster puts into those books, but they are so Moorish. I'm like, oh, I'll just read a little bit more to see if Isadora wins the cake competition. And the next thing I know, I'll finish the whole book. Oh,
So cute.
Alex, if I'm
So
ever feeling
cute.
sad, can you just put those on for me?
Just whack on my glasses. They're for
I
my
think
they're
one
for
of your
my
TikToks
school
came.
event.
One of your TikToks came up the other day. You know, like TikTok moves so fast that sometimes you lose a video and then you can't like find it again.
Oh yeah, all the time.
You were saying something about how you'd re-record a video because you'd got some funny skin on your nose.
Yeah, a flake of skin on my nose. I tried so hard to make this TikTok, and it was really good. And then I was like, "What's wrong with my nose?" I was like, "Is that a bogey? What have I done?" And there was like a little flake of skin, like right on the end of my nose.
I was laughing so much. I like moved the TikTok on and then I couldn't find it again. I was like, I love you, Alex.
It's
You're
not
wonderful.
honestly. It's
I
not a
think
glam
Ashley's
life.
here, but she's not here. So look, hello, she's here. Hi.
Ashley! Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I went to put a cup of coffee on.
Sorry, I did think, should I let Ashlyn like get back to a seat before I just? I was going to talk about the empty screen and just be really excited that you were here, but you're actually here. Hooray! You look amazing, Ashlyn. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Yeah, I've been out in the sun all day. So this is a glare in these. I'll take them off. Come back on when I'm writing. I've been out in the sun all day because we had a school sports day, and then I had to take the kids into town because they had auditions for a choir thing, and yes, the sun. So I think I've got some color. And speaking of the sun, my son has just shown up. He wanted me to show you this, Alex, which he picked up today in comic book store. He knows that we're into and he just
I
got
absolutely love it.
So, yes.
So cool.
Oh my god, I'm holding it upside down. No, not holding it upside down.
No, you're not. It's the
What
right
is
way
it?
up.
Tell me. It looks exciting. D&D Essentials kit. Is that what it
It's
is?
an essential starter kit. So he's 9 and he's just getting into Dungeons and Dragons. So we popped into a comic store on the way to the audition.
Of a 20-sided dice, and I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1 and a 20-sided
Did
dice?
you?
Sometimes that can be useful. Okay, guys.
natural
Off you
one.
go.
Bye.
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 Sorry.
Oh, a confident young person. That's what I like.
Very confident. Apparently, he
So
went into his
good.
audition and he started telling the music teacher what he should be doing in the audition. And like, I think I need to do this. I think you need to have me do that. So, I have no idea. He is a very confident young boy.
Oh my gosh.
Raising
Oh.
right. Raising right, Ashlyn. It's nice to see you both on screen together. It's been a while.
I missed you all.
Oh, it's so nice that we can all be together. That's a proper treat, Ashlyn. That's made my day.
So what are you working on? I know we had a little message the other day and you said you were writing something new.
I am, yeah. I've been really stuck, but I've started something that's very steeped in Irish mythology, and it feels like it's writing itself. My 12-year-old decided that she was not having it with me just feeling stuck with my writing, so she sat me down. She's like, "What are you interested in writing right now?" And I started telling her some of my ideas, and she's like, "I like that one. Okay, let's brainstorm that." And she's literally like, "Let's brainstorm this. Let's work it out." And took me like chapter by chapter. She's like, she's my boss now. She is my boss now.
Can I borrow your daughter? Please, just sort me out.
She's
What a star.
Yeah, like every day after school, she comes in, she asks me what I've done, so I don't get away with sort of waiting for inspiration strikes or whatever I was doing for the last little while. But yeah, she's brilliant, and I'm really enjoying it. I really feel, you know, when you feel like click back in and you're obsessing about the characters and you're thinking about them all the time. So I'm very happy to be back into it, and it's a mid-grade. That's the only other thing I can tell you about it. Yeah.
That's really exciting. It's one of those things, isn't it, that as soon as you start writing for publication, there's a film called Catch and Release where a guy's a photographer, and you start taking pictures for money, and he says as soon as you start doing your hobby as your job, like the interest level suddenly goes like this, and like you've kind of got to remind yourself that we'd start doing this because we love writing and that exciting spark, and it isn't just about the next deadline or beating yourself up because you haven't written 7 books in 7 years or whatever. It's just loving it for the sake of loving it and kind of forgetting all the other nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I've been in a weird place for the last few years because I started writing with my dad, and then, you know, he's been gone for the last couple of years. So I've just been adrift because that thing that I always associate with writing hasn't been there. So she's stepped in now, and we've switched, because before it used to be me and him, and now it's me and her. And it's like I'm him and she's me. And she's keeping me accountable. Yeah, it's really nice. Like, it kind of, I'll tear up if I think about it too much, but it's really nice because she's sort of stepping into the me role when I used to support him and read his stuff, and then sort of learned to write from doing so much with him. So I think I needed that, though. I needed the same sort of collaborative vibe that I had with him, and I thought I was missing. I hadn't realized it. She figured it out. I hadn't realized it. So anyway, with that.
Another wise young person. It sounds like you're raising very wonderful little people, Ashley. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure that a lot of it's come from you as well, especially the creativity.
Thanks.
I think that must be the case, surely.
Thank you. It's brilliant to see you both, though. How are you both doing? I heard a little bit about what you were doing. You both look fantastic as well, because I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, you. So do you. All right, not too bad.
It's half term here, so I'm kind of on the half term, not knowing what day it is. Just being really, we were going to have a really quiet week because I was at Comic-Con Friday to Sunday, so I did 3 full days of Comic-Con. By the end, I was a little bit like up to here with speaking to people. And then we've just had a really busy week. It's like not ended. So I need to probably have a bit of a break this weekend and not speak to some people, not present company included, obviously.
Amy thinks it's Tuesday.
I did. I thought it was Tuesday yesterday.
Okay.
For a good portion of the day. Yeah. Because we changed my son's swimming lesson, and that is on a Tuesday, and it threw my whole week off. That's all it takes for all of my little cards of reality to crumble.
And so is it being the weekend, is that a good thing? Like, is it a nice surprise that it wasn't Tuesday, or was it a
yeah, it actually was, although I was a bit embarrassed that I emailed my editor as if it was Tuesday. She doesn't work on a Friday, so I emailed her as if she was working tomorrow, and she isn't, because tomorrow's today, which is Friday. So I'm sure she's used to me by now. We've worked together for a little bit, so I feel like she'll just probably like, oh, Amy, you know I don't work on a Friday. It's all right. So it is what it is. And so are we all? I'm doing administrative tasks during sprints mostly, I think. But you two doing exciting writing then, both of you?
I'm going to be doing a bit of writing, a little bit of my old faithful. I'm going to be tinkering with some Vampires 3 again,
yes,
as usual, which is what I work on when everything else is with my agent. So that is good. So that's me. How about you?
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, I'm going to be working on my story, my mythology story. I'm a couple of chapters in. I had to leave off last night because it was like 1 o'clock and I couldn't keep my eyes open. I had to leave off last night at a really fun bit, so I'm looking forward to getting back to it. And I'm at the point now where I'm not going to look back at what I've written before, so I'm just going to try and make progress and see where I am. I've been using the Pomodoro timer myself, Amy, and every time it goes off, it feels weird not to hear your voice.
Do you need me to sort of bring you back round after a sprint and say,
I actually do. It'll go off and I'll be like, oh, okay, grand. And then when I don't hear your voice, I just keep writing.
It's good though, isn't it? I should do it more during the day because what I end up doing is just working without stopping if I don't do the Pomodoro technique. Because I've got a few different jobs, I just go from one job to another. Like I finish one freelance thing and I just move immediately on to the next one. If I did the timer thing, I probably would actually have some breaks and, go to the toilet and stuff a bit more than I do. So yeah, I should take a leaf out of your book. So you are both writing exciting middle grade things, and I'm going to go and, well, actually, no, I'm going to do my boring task in the second sprint. I might do something a bit more. I've got a freelance writing thing that I'm working on, which is more fun. So I think I'll do that in the first sprint. And then do the more administrative things in the second one. Hello, Hannah's here to do exciting things as well. From Drake Bookshop, the lovely, lovely indie bookshop.
See you soon, Han. See you soon.
Oh, don't rub it in.
Amy, no, Amy.
Honestly, like childcare is one of the great things about being a parent, and it's also one of the things that makes life very hard to wrangle. Quite often I'd bring him with me and all is well, but it doesn't always transpire that I can do all the events I want to do.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I will at some point, and in 13 years I'll be like, oh, my baby's grown up and I can do all the events I want to. Now I just want to look after him. So yeah, but I was meant to be doing an event with Alex Ashlyn and it didn't work out, but it will at some point.
Yeah, well,
it will eventually. I just need to write my middle grade book fast. Alex needs to write a young adult book, and then we can do events together and all will be well.
That's the plan.
Okay, let's do a 40-minute sprint and another 40-minute sprint with chat in between, and then we'll see how we go and how tired we are. I feel like Ashlyn's going to be writing till 1 a.m. anyway, so.
Well, I might have to crash because I had to talk to people today, and my energy just like vanishes when I have to talk to people.
Yeah, same.
I know some people get really energized talking to you guys. Again, do not count. You count as people, but not as people who drain my energy. But even like people that I want to be talking to, it's just, I don't know. You come away just kind of going, okay, I need to go and like hide in a box for a bit now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a performance, isn't it? I think like parents at school say, who I know them semi well, you're still turning on a bit of a persona to do it that is, whereas you're just seeing the uncensored, unfiltered nonsense that is me, you two. So
because we're all the same, weird, writerly, we've got the same interests. So yeah, we don't need the filter. We can just be ourselves.
Yeah, which is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just monitor it by Ashlyn's energy levels. If they've depleted by 9 o'clock, whatever, we'll wrap it up. If Alex is yawning, we'll also. Oh, we've lost Alex. She's had a little yawn and we've lost her.
Sorry, I started going. Yeah, I'm very interested in everything that's been said. It's because it's after 7 o'clock.
I feel it completely, Alex. Honestly,
I'm in my PJs.
Since I told you, haven't I, before that I met Kev when I was 17, and we both immediately gave up on like the going out lifestyle and just became grandparents essentially. So yeah, it gets to 7 p.m. and I'm like, oh, slippers, cup of tea, watch some telly and go to bed. That's the evening, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
I've set you off now. I said the word yawn, didn't I? So if we all fall asleep, I'll try and represent the awake people, and if the other two fall asleep, I'll try and rouse them with a kitty meow in 40 minutes. Okay, let's do a sprint, and then we will catch up in 40 minutes. Bye-bye. Oh, hello. So mute everybody. Oops, sorry, I think I just remuted Alex.
Oh, sorry.
The battle of the muse. No, it's me. I do that every time. Too quick on the muting button. How did it go? How did you get on, Ashley?
Yeah, good. Let me see how many words I got. 600 words done. And
Awesome.
yeah, I'm definitely going to need to cut a lot of this because these chapters are way too. What's the going word count in a mid-grade, Alex? Is it like 30,000?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think it depends. It depends on who you ask, and I guess whether it's like, you know, lower middle grade or upper middle grade. But I mean, I would say anything from like 40,000 to like 60,000.
Okay, that's not so bad then. I'm not going to panic just yet. I'm not going to panic just yet anyway, because I'm still in the first draft. But yeah, definitely going to have to I just feel like I overwrite everything, but it's fun because
I'm the same. I'm with you in that camp.
Yeah. How'd you get on?
Me, yeah, not too bad. As you can see, I've had some technical difficulties. So I'm very sorry. My headset is conked out. So if I sound weird, it's because I'm now talking to you through my microphone. Laptop microphone. I'm double laptopping it because I've got my little writing book here. And yeah, it's gone all right, not too bad. Just doing a little bit more trundling through, and I am really enjoying it as always because it's my comfort book. So yeah, that's me.
I feel like everybody needs one of those comfort books.
Yeah, most definitely. It needs to happen every now and again. Just need to be able to, you know, just have a relax and write something that I want to write.
That's really nice. Well, I did my freelance writing bit, which was the nice creative part, and then my brain just went, no more creating today, you. Shh.
No.
I literally couldn't even read what I was writing anymore. So I was like, okay, stop that. And I moved on to the less creative, more administrative things. So I'm just plodding through that, plodding through. I just set a reminder to myself that I owe a blurb to a friend. So I think I need to write a blurb in the next of a book that is lovely. It's so Josh Winning's new book, which I think has been announced, but I won't say the name of it just in case it hasn't. But I beta read it for him a little while ago because it's got a thing in that is a specialised subject of mine. And my book has something in it that's a specialist subject of Josh's. So we kind of swapped and checked each other's books. And so, yeah, he's asked me to blurb it now. And I'm like, oh, gosh, but I read it a while ago. So I need to just like rev myself up and remind myself what the book was all about. So I keep setting reminders to do it. And I'm like, I actually need to do it now. I'm not very good at blurbs. Do you get asked to do blurbs, you two, ever? I get asked to do them every now and again. And I'd rather write a whole book than write a condensed summary of what I think about something, to be honest.
I've never been asked to blurb. I've been asked to like quote for book covers before, which is nice.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of what I think of, blurbing.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Yes, of course. My brain is just
versus... No, it's fine. I think we call all things different stuff, don't we? Like, I think of it as an author blurb, but maybe that's not even what it is. I don't know.
No, I think you are right. For some reason, my brain just went to like the blurb, but then it's probably because I've received a blurb today, as I was telling you. So that's probably what it is. So yes, I have been asked to blurb.
It sounds like a made-up word. Blurb.
I was just going to say, I've heard it so many times now, and it's getting like late enough that it's sounding like that's just what everything sounds like. Blurb, 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 blurb.
Yeah. Nathan keeps talking alien words. They learn about alien words at school. It's starting to sound like an alien word that's not real. He asks me all the time, is this an alien word? And he'll say a word that's actually real. And I'm like, oh, how nice to be pure and to just have not heard a word before. Like yesterday, and I can't remember what it was, and it was like, oh, that's just a real word. You think you've made it up, but no, it's a real word. It's like, no, it's an alien word. I'm like, okay.
That's
agree to disagree.
Is he like learning his phonemes?
Oh yes, we're phoneming it up all day, every day. We have special friends. Special friends are 2 letters to make one sound, apparently. We started on the split digraph journey. That's fun. Anybody who's a parent's twitching as I say the word split digraph, it's like, oh, another of those front adverbial things that we need to learn. Yes, it's all good fun. He's enjoying it. I can't wait till he knows them all and he can read everything, because at the minute he can read narrow reading books that are things like, you know, the shoe is on the shelf of the shop, because he's learning the sh sound, you know. I just can't wait for him to see that books are exciting. Like books, he loves them
Yeah.
being read to him, but I think he thinks reading books are a bit of a. Is this what when you sit and read, Mummy? Is this what you're doing? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm reading about vampires and werewolves and monsters and not shoes on shelves of shops.
Yeah, he's got all
It
that
does
world
have-
ahead of him, hasn't he, and everything to discover.
It does happen
Which
very
is so
quickly when
cute.
they go from when they stop having to sound it out, and when you can just look at a word and know it. It happens really quickly where suddenly they'll just become a reader because it stops being hard work. My 7-year-old's just gotten there, and she'll read she stays up until 11 o'clock now. If we we try and stop her and then we come back in, she's still reading. She's picked up Big Bad Me, which I'm like. She already knows the story because she's heard everyone talking about it. But she was reading it and she was like, you know what? I actually think, YA is more of my thing. And I'm like, it's not more of your thing. You're 7 years old. Put that down. They'll pick up a series of unfortunate events or something like that.
That would be perfect, though. That's a good gateway.
Yeah.
You need to convince her.
Weird.
Give her the Shiver Point, Gabriel Dillon's books.
Yes.
Because they have like a really grown-up feel to them, but they're really, really short and kind of a condensed, like a flash horror. I really, really, especially the second one, which is about a scary scarecrow, I thought was amazing. And obviously Alex's books, that goes without saying. But are your little people more? Are they slightly older than 7, or like is a good 7-year-old reader okay for yours, Alex?
I would say for Ministry of Mischief, 7 is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Vampires might be a little bit dark.
Yeah.
But then I know that Ashlyn's kids have quite a dark sense of humour.
And Mara's the darkest. Mara's the strangest and the darkest of the lot of them.
Is she the one that gives you the creepy drawing sometimes, doesn't she?
Yes,
like with the little stories accompany.
Yes, she's the creepy. She's been drawing creepy, weird stuff since she was tiny. So yeah, she's very very into that. But yeah, and now I just have to check because she sees her big sister is now into YA and she's reading hard stuff and she's reading Rosie Talbot stuff. She hasn't read Mina yet because I feel like that's just that's slightly older, isn't it? But Mara now wants to be reading what Evie is reading. Even though there's like you said, there's all Alex's wonderful books, there's Shiver Point, there's all these wonderful things, but she wants to be all grown up. She's going to be the one I have to worry about. She's going to be the one trying to sneak out when she's 13, I think.
It's being the youngest, I think, partially, isn't it? The wanting, because my brother, we used to have negotiations in our house. I'd be begging to go to bed, and my brother would be like, "Can you just stay up a bit longer so I can?" And he's 3 years younger than me. I was like, "I'm tired," and he'd have to go to bed if I went to bed. So yeah, I think the younger sibling, personally, as an older sibling, I think the younger sibling is normally the one you've got to watch. What are you two? Are you older or younger siblings?
I'm both because there was a 5-year gap between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was my sister. My older sister is 7 years older than me. Then my brother is 5 years older than me. So then there's a gap, and then there was me, and then my little sister. So I'm a younger sister who was really babied, but then I'm an older sister as well. And
so you get to do both.
Yeah, but I feel like there's enough of a gap that we had the 2-person dynamic, like the younger older dynamic, and then Roshan and Sean had it as well. So yeah, I got to do both, but I think I'm much more of a younger sibling, to be honest, than an older sibling. Eventually,
I suppose I'm both as well. I've got an older half brother who I didn't see as much when I was younger, but I spend a lot of time with now. So now I'm the middle sibling, but when I was younger, I was kind of more aware of myself as an older sibling, if that makes sense. How about you, Alex?
So I am the eldest of the 2 Foulkeses. So I have a little brother who's ginormous and is like twice the size of me. But I am smack bang in the middle of 5 siblings when you count our blended family. So I have 3 stepsisters, one of whom is the same age as me and is also called Alex.
Oh,
so if any of you have ever wondered, Alex, what's wrong with you? This is part of the reason why we had a lot of confusion growing up. No, but everybody gets on really well, which is good.
That's really nice. Isn't it interesting how families, like, none of us had a straightforward answer? It's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm an old
Well,
sibling, but I'm also a middle sibling. This is just society, isn't it? And modern life, and you know, it's all good fun. Dungeon Crawler Call. I feel like there's a lot
Oh
of
God.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know what, Alex? I think you need to explain. I'm googling, but what are we talking
So I
about?
know of Dungeon Crawler Call. I think it's got like kind of a little bit of a cult following online. It would be very difficult. It would be very difficult to explain. I think it's a bit madcap. But yes, I am very interested in reading this.
I've just found it, and it's trying to check whether I'm a robot or not before I can go onto the page. So I'm going to do that later because I can't. Kate Alice Marshall is an author that I've been wanting to read. Did she write The Rules for Vanishing? Am I thinking of the right person? Because I've had that for years and haven't read it. You've made me feel guilty now, Stephen. Not reflecting on you, reflecting on me. I need to read that book if it's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, and I need to look up Dungeon Crawler Call. I need to go on to, I just tried to open a website and it did one of those type in these letters to prove you're not a robot that I can never pass. Do you ever fail on those? Like, I can't ever read whether it's a capital or not. And so
Does that give you anxiety that you can't prove you're not a robot?
Maybe I am a robot and I've fooled you all up to this point, and this little like website check has just revealed me to the internet. So I'm going to do that quietly by myself in like 2 minutes when I'm not on scrutiny, because I can't ever do the ones either, you know, that say, is there a motorcycle in this image? Click the ones that don't have one.
I know.
It's always like a little corner of a wheel, like a teeny bit, and you're like, does this count or doesn't it count? And I always get the wrong answer. My brother once convinced me that I was a robot. He told me that I'd fallen off a climbing frame, and he told me that I'd actually died falling off the climbing frame, and they'd very quickly got me to the hospital, stored my memories, booted it into a robot version of me, and that's who I was with all my memories. And he wasn't supposed to tell me, but he couldn't keep the secret anymore. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And eventually I sort of realized it. But yeah.
I'd read that, Ashlyn. You should write that.
But I think there was a movie in the 80s called Daryl, and I think we watched Daryl recently. So it was about a boy, an android, like an escaped science experiment. So I think he was trying to, reference that for me. But I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm a robot now. Yeah.
I get accused of being a vampire quite a lot because, pale, obvious, but also I don't sweat very much, and I do exercise classes with friends sometimes, and my friends got a thing of looking at me and being like, vampire, I knew you were, and I'm like, I can't help it that I'm really pale and that I don't, show much signs of exertion. I'm not very fit. I've never really been accused of being a robot, but yeah, vampire I get more often than, well, probably as often as you would imagine, to be honest. But I feel like you're more of an imp, Alex. Like, I feel like you're an imp in like a human suit. Yeah.
Imp energy. I do quite often get asked about being 3 imps in a human suit or a vampire or whatever. And my answer is always, no, but isn't that what a sneaky vampire would say?
Honestly, I used to read The Witches to the kids at school and like do this with my hair and like move my hairline around.
Yeah.
And like say, oh, my shoes really hurt today. I don't think my feet feel very comfortable in them. And they'd all be like, I know you're joking, but also I'm a bit scared of you, right?
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh, sorry, any child that I've ever traumatized by. I think they all found it really funny. I'm sure nobody went home and cried and thought I was a real witch. I obviously managed to convince them really well. Ooh, Dungeons and Drama. That's such good time.
Listen, Han, I am going to have something up my sleeve for you very, very soon. It is currently with my agent.
I want you to go. You need to go and look up all of those books, Alex, and read them for research. Look, Han's giving you your
Clearly, I need to. I know. I need to pick them up.
I'm reading a cute one that's called Do You Ship It by Beth Reekles at the minute. That's not about Dungeons and Dragons per se, but it is about fandom. It's a girl who pretends that she's in a fandom to win over a boy, but then ends up like actually in the fandom, like really loving it.
Oh no.
And Beth as a person, Beth is like a proper like fangirl person. So she said it was funny like writing it from the other side of like, this is what other people feel like not being in a fandom.
Yes. Do you guys, can I ask, what is the most fandom that you've ever been in? Because
do you have to ask me, or do you think you can guess?
Well, okay. It's just I don't know whether it's the Buffy fandom known for being
fandom.
particularly.
I mean, it's not like a rabid.
Known for the bad behaviour, shall we say?
No, although if you ever want to rile up some Buffy fans, you need to go on TikTok and say, I love Xander. And that will get people really angry, because I saw somebody do a video early trying to defend Xander, and honestly, the abuse he got. And I was like, oh, I'm not even going to go down, like, think about my position on this. I don't care enough about that to, like, upset real people about it. Like, I just keep my opinions to myself. But yeah, so I think that there are certain opinions that can really rile people up, and I know what they are. So if I wanted to cause like drama on TikTok about Buffy, I probably could.
I see. I understand.
But yeah, I'd say generally most Buffy fans like me, where we hoard like little dragons and buy things from the 90s, but don't upset anybody. That's the general Buffy.
You see, that to me is nice fandom.
Yeah.
That to me is nice.
Yeah, I feel like mostly it is. And then there is a corner of, like everywhere, there's a corner of people who just wait to troll anybody with an opinion about Buffy. How about you, Ashlyn? I feel like my answer's obvious. Is there like a really big fandom you've been a part of?
I mean, I was really into Supernatural for a while, but I didn't finish watching it, so I don't know if I can claim full. But I still do see an awful lot of what's going on. That can be pretty. That's great. That was a great show, but that can also be pretty scary with the fans. So some of the opinions are just like, really. But yeah, that's probably Supernatural. It's the most.
I told you my Supernatural story. I've met both Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, by the way. There's many stories I could tell about these various fan events I've been to, but the one I want to tell you is that there was a girl in front of me who fainted when she saw Jensen Ackles for the first time. So that is the degree of fandom. Like literally, she looked at him and bam, she was down. So I think that I've never fainted at the sight of another human, but I did get quite shaky when I first saw Jason Mero. I was standing there like trembling. And I had to get it together by the time I actually met him, because I didn't want to be that person who was like visibly shaking as she walked up to him. That's the most nervous I've been, I think. But yeah, I need to tell you at some point all my fandom stories, because I've been to many conventions. I've met the Vampire Diaries brothers, a fair few Buffy characters, Supernatural, Smallville. Like I've worked my way around the different. Jamie from Outlander, I went to a whole Outlander convention just so I could meet him, and spent a stupid amount of money on tickets, but it was worth it because he was really nice. She says, little giggle. He was really nice. Yes. And yes, apparently you're a tease, Alex. Yeah, it's so good. I'm really enjoying it. I interviewed Beth a week or two ago, and I was trying to read the book before the interview, and I was like, I'm really sorry, Beth, I'm just not reading right now, so I'm halfway through this book. And she was lovely. She was like, how dare you stop interviewing me right now and go read it. No, really. But yeah, it's very good. If I actually get to read a book that isn't, my own at some point, I'll let you know how it ends. So are you in any other fandom? Oh, sorry, you're talking, Alex. Are you in any other fandoms apart from D&D? Or is that your main?
God, yeah. A heck of a lot. But when I asked you this, I was thinking about like like teenage, like these like awkward teenage fandoms, and I think for me the absolute pinnacle is an online comic called Homestuck.
Okay.
Notorious for bad fan behavior, and the worst story is somebody in America who went to a convention and had stopped in a hotel and apparently dyed their skin using Sharpies in a bathtub and stained the bathtub. Yeah, it's like gone down in legend, but like bad fan behavior, all sorts of like, degenerate craziness. But like it took off like at the perfect time for teenage me, with like, it was like the best and the worst of internet culture. It's kind of like this weird thing it's sort of like a bit of a monolith, really. Mac, what have you got? Tris, what has he got? Sorry, Mac is eating something weird off the floor. I have no idea. Tris is sorting him. So
also,
that,
like a
that was
child,
what,
children are really
sprung to
good.
mind.
Do your children do this, Ashley? I mean, yours have probably grown out of it, but when Nathan was 2 or 3, he'd come up to me and go, "Can I eat this?" And he'd present
What's he
something that's
got?
like a Malteser or something, and I'd be like, "We haven't eaten Maltesers for 3 weeks. Please give that back to me."
At least you asked.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
it.
generally, he's really good with stuff like that, and it hasn't happened for a while, I have to say. I think Alex is dealing with dog eating things.
I'm sorry, everybody. I tried to mute myself and I just stopped my camera. So if you heard me going, stop, that's the reason why.
It's fine. We know pets and children do not mix well with online events. You know, as many politicians can attest during COVID, there's all those viral things, isn't there, of like children and animals causing mayhem.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it can, because people love this thing loads and loads and loads, and like think that their love of it sometimes is more important than anybody else's, and like kick up a big fuss and stuff. And you're like, oh, but we're all here for the same reason. We all really want to meet this person. And I get that you've been kicking for 4 hours, like so have I. And some people just get really upset and some of these events aren't run very well either, which can be frustrating and brings out the worst. Like you've been queuing all day and then you have your picture and you're told you can't take your picture home and you've got to just have it emailed to you and hope for the best. And then people hit the roof, understandably. So yeah, I've been there for all of this. I get it, Han. I've not been on the receiving end of it, but I've been like a person at a con and seen bad con behaviour. Try not to partake.
I have done a school visit before where a little girl told me that I was her favourite author ever, bearing in mind that she'd never read anything of mine, but apparently I was her favourite author ever.
Oh.
And she thought that she was going to faint, is what she told me. So I was simultaneously very flattered and very concerned and very confused. It was fine.
That's very sweet.
She was very sweet.
Oh,
all of these dramatic children. They make me laugh.
Primary school can be primary and early secondary particularly, I think it can be a very dramatic place, to the point where you're like, boy who cried wolf, don't say these things if they're not actually true.
Yes, I agree.
I remember that time of life. It is a dramatic time. So I'm going to do some more admin-y things before I lose the will to do them. And then I may relax afterwards. But yeah, I need to do another hard work sprint. Are you two going to carry on writing?
Yes.
I will be, yes. I think I'm going to make this my last one, guys, just because I am running on fumes. But I am going to...
Me too. So I might do the same thing and maybe we'll call it after this one. And then Aisling can continue to write into the night if you so choose. I feel like you're the one with the energy, and me and Alex are the ones with like the let's go to bed at 9 p.m. and drink hot cocoa energy.
Coffee.
Right, let's do another sprint and catch up on the other side.
Yes, catch you on the flip-flop. Bye.
slower off the mark, later it gets. Oh, is the cat meowed? Oh, Alex, it looks spooky where you are.
Oh, you do look spooky.
Yes.
I like it. I felt you're going to get a torch out and start telling us a ghost story.
Yeah, I might. There are quite a few ghosts in Rules for Vampires, of course.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. So how's Rules for Vampires 3 going, Alex? How's the evening?
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. It is my pride and joy. It is very exciting. Lots of exciting things in the works. I'm just loving it. It's my passion project, as you know, in between working on more official things. And we have, a bit of a view forward for doing something very exciting with it eventually. It's just that it's kind of happening in between other things. But it's very much like it's a thing for fans to come with me into schools as opposed to do anything like sort of big and exciting. But I think it suits it really well. So I'm very happy.
Good. Would this be, is book 3 the end of the series, or could it continue?
Yeah. So it's a conclusion. It's I can tell you it's called Rules for Vampires Undead Academy.
Ooh.
And right now I'm just tinkering with a scene where Leo the vampire and some friends and some enemies are undergoing the true horror that is team building exercises on the beach of where the school is set. It's like a seafaring kind of adventure. The school rises out of the sea, so it's very cool. But yeah, there's been a very tense tug of war, and then some trust falls, and now they're playing like a Chinese whispers kind of game, but everybody's saying nasty things about each other. So there's a lot of like vampire politics. So it's been really good fun. I'm very excited.
That sounds very good. I love a spooky school, it has to be said.
Yes, me too.
Record.
Me too.
Amazing. How about you, Ashlyn? How's it going? Are you going to keep writing into the night, or do you think you're kind of ready for an early one tonight?
I could keep writing, but I know my husband wants to stop and watch Taskmaster, and I do need to keep my marriage going. I feel like not watching Taskmaster when it's available is grounds for divorce, so that would be fair. No, I'm going to stop, but I'm really happy with where I went. I've wound up on the next chapter, and there's some twists and turns I wasn't expecting. I've plotted this actually, like, I felt really tightly for me. So obviously the characters are going, no, that's not what's happening. It's still following the outline, just taking the scenic route, if you know what I mean. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really happy with it, and everything seems to be very exciting. I can't really tell you anything that I'm doing because I don't know where the story is going to go or what's going to happen with it. But there are mysterious people doing mysterious things and unusual things happening. So if that clears anything up.
It sounds really good and really you. Like, I think your daughter's right. Like, sitting you down and saying, right, what do you actually want to write is a really good idea. Because I think sometimes we just plow on with something, and plowing on with a book that you're not feeling for like a year or two is just not going to get anybody anywhere, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. And the other stuff that I was trying to write and the ideas I've had and the things that are half done or first drafts that I've just not twiddled with, they're still there. And,
exactly.
Yeah, but she knows me better than I know myself sometimes. I guess she's known me all her life, so. And I haven't known me all my life. You go through that phase when you're a baby, you don't know your person at all, so.
Well, and I think we don't always look at ourselves kind of uncritically, do we, and kindly. I think we sometimes are really like our own worst critics, and it takes somebody who really loves you to say, actually, this is the direction you should be going in. This is what Kev does for me. Nathan's not quite old enough to give sound advice yet. I wouldn't probably take his life direction. His life direction would probably watch Spider-Man play Kirby eat chocolate. So
it does sound good.
Actually, I was going to say that's not that bad, actually. Maybe I should just do that.
I mean, he seems surprisingly wise.
Yeah. I mean, that must have come from somewhere. Probably Kev. Like, I can't. I only have mild moments of wisdom and lucidity, I think, amidst all the craziness. So maybe he'll be the wise one among us all. You never know. In like 7 years, he'll be imparting the kind of advice that your daughter does, Ashlyn, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's got great parents, and he knows everything that he needs to know about writing already, from like seeing all the brilliant writers that you talk to and going to these events. He's going to be a pro.
Well, he's going to be very unimpressed though when he meets really cool people. Like, and you know, when we like meet authors that we admire, we're like, "Ooh." Nathan will meet them and he'll be like, "What's up? I've already met you when I was 5," and like the joy will be gone. Like he's met Jonathan Stroud twice now, which is more than I imagine most 5-year-olds. And he just was like, "Hi." He didn't like. I was like, "I'm really sorry. Normally, children must be a lot more excited to meet you than this. Like in 3 years, I will remind him when he's like absorbing Bartimaeus and Lockwood and Co. I'll be like, you were really unimpressed to meet Jonathan Stroud." Have I told you that he's mad with me about his Harriet Muncaster? He met her when he was 2, and he can't remember meeting her. So he's like, she was at a launch where all he wanted to do was run round and round the shelves. So he could have had a whole conversation with her, and he chose not to. That's on 2-year-old him.
Brilliant.
So I feel the same will happen. I'd love him to write a book. I think he's got what it takes. He'd tell you he's written 2 books already. One about ducks, one about sheep.
That's it. I mean, they're evergreen, right? There's always ducks, there's always sheep. Who doesn't want to do that?
This is it. Pad it out a bit. It could probably be a picture book. I don't know.
I like the idea that we're raising like the next generation of publishing nepo babies, like as much as it can be a nepo baby.
I know. I was gonna say, like, are they seeing all the jaded like me going, "Oh, I've just been given 12 hours to turn over a deadline." Like, am I also presenting this side of publishing, or like, I don't think my emails are being understood. I'm gonna send another one. You know, he's also seeing that. A lot of publishing conversations happen over a series of like 20 emails, don't they? Where you gradually eke out the thing that you're trying to communicate, where you could just probably have a phone call, but it's fine. Yeah. Alex is just sitting there quietly like, "Oh, publishing." A delight and a joy for all involved.
Oh, yes. I'm very delighted and very joyed.
And maybe on that note of delight and joy, let's see what the last comment is and then call it a night. That sounds absolutely valid, Nicole. Use the sprints however you see fit, whether it's to pry things out of your dog's mouth like Alex, or to do mind-numbing admin like me, or write really sensibly like Ashlyn. All is well. Whatever you do with it, it's fine. Is it nice to be the sensible one out of the 3 tonight, Ashlyn?
It's strange, isn't it?
To be fair, though, you're with me and Alex, so the standard for sensible's like not at the highest that it could be. But
I think I'm very sensible.
You maybe when you're not with us, you are. I think we probably bring you down, or I bring you. Am I the bad influence?
I'm known for my sensibleness.
Thank you, lovely people in the comments. It's very nice to chat to you two on screen. It's nice to chat to comments people. It's just always leaves me feeling sleepy, nice and warm. So I'm going to go and watch something on TV now. I don't know what. We've run out of things. I need to find something new to watch. But night, you two. Night, comments people.
Have a lovely night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next time. Bye.